Daily Current Affairs, PIB Summary, 5th May 2020. Table of Contents, GS Paper 2, Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, DICGC, African Swine Fever, ASF, Gilgit-Baltistan, GS Paper 3, Voluntary Retention Route for Foreign Portfolio Investors, Bru Riang Refugee Crisis. GS Paper 2, Topics covered: Government policies and interventions for development in various sectors and issues arising out of their design and implementation. Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, DICGC. Context: RBI has asked the Registrar of Cooperative Societies, Maharashtra, to start the process of winding up operations of CKP Cooperative Bank and appoint a liquidator. On liquidation, every depositor of the bank is entitled to get up to Rs 5 lakh from Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. What's the issue? Recently, the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, recently cancelled the license of Mumbai-based CKP Cooperative Bank for the following reasons. Financial position of the bank was highly adverse and unsustainable. The bank is not in a position to pay its present and future depositors. The bank failed to meet the regulatory requirements of maintaining a minimum capital adequacy ratio of 9% and reserves. What is capital to risk weighted assets ratio, CRAR? The CRAR, also known as capital adequacy ratio, CAR, is a ratio of bank's capital to its risk. It is a measure of the amount of a bank's core capital expressed as a percentage of its risk weighted asset. It is decided by central banks and bank regulations to prevent commercial banks from taking excess leverage and becoming insolvent in the process. The base 3 norms stipulated a capital to risk weighted assets of 8%. However, as per RBI norms, Indian scheduled commercial banks are required to maintain CRAR of 9%. What is deposit insurance? How is it regulated in India? Deposit insurance is providing insurance protection to the depositor's money by receiving a premium. The government has set up a Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, DICGC, under RBI to protect depositors if a bank fails. DICGC charges 10 paise per minute per 100 of deposits held by a bank. The premium paid by the insured banks to the corporation is paid by the banks and is not to be passed on to depositors. DICGC was last revised the deposit insurance cover to 5 lakh in Feb 2020, raising it from 1 lakh since 1993. What is the procedure for depositors to claim the money from a failed bank? The DICGC does not deal directly with depositors. The RBI or the registrar, on directing that bank be liquidated, appoints an official liquidator to oversee the winding up process. Under the DICGC Act, the liquidator is supposed to hand over a list of the insured depositors with their dues to DICGC within 3 months of taking charge. The DICGC is supposed to pay these dues within 2 months of receiving this list. Who are insured by DICGC? The corporation covers all commercial and cooperative banks except in Meghalaya, Chandigarh, Lakshadweep and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Besides, only primary cooperative societies are not insured by the DICGC. The DICGC does not include the following types of deposits: deposits of foreign governments, deposits of central state governments, interbank deposits, deposits of state land development banks with the state cooperative bank, any amount due on account of any deposit received outside India, any amount specifically exempted by the DICGC with previous approval of RBI. Topics covered: issues related to health. African swine fever ASF. Context: Assam is gearing up to tackle African swine fever. Around 2,800 pigs have died in Assam since February due to the virus, making the state the epicenter of ASF in India. Background: ASF has been seen in other Asian countries as well. Most recently, the Philippines had to cull more than 7,000 pigs to arrest the spread of ASF. About African swine fever ASF. ASF is a highly contagious and fatal animal disease that infects domestic and wild pigs, typically resulting in an acute form of hemorrhagic fever. It was first detected in Africa in the 1920s. The mortality is close to 100%, and since the fever has no cure, the only way to stop its spreading is by culling the animals. ASF is not a threat to human beings since it only spreads from animal to other animals. According to the FAO, its extremely high potential for transboundary spread has placed all the countries in the region is danger and has raised the specter of ASF once more escaping from Africa. It is a disease of growing strategic importance for global food security and household income. African swine fever: key facts, how it spreads. Asian countries hit, and the symptoms are redness of skin, high fever, vomiting, diarrhea. Asian countries hits are Mongolia, China, North Korea, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. Vietnam had hardest hit with 2.8 million pigs culled this year. India and its neighborhood relations. Gilgit-Baltistan. Context: the External Affairs Ministry issued a strongest protest over an order by the Pakistan Supreme Court allowing the government to hold elections in the region of Gilgit-Baltistan of Pakistan occupied Kashmir (POK). What's the issue? In a recent order, the Pakistan Supreme Court allowed the amendment to the government of Gilgit-Pakistan order to 2018 to conduct the general elections in the region. Gilgit-Baltistan has functioned as a provincial autonomous region since 2009. Besides, India has conveyed that the entire Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, including the areas of Gilgit and Baltistan, are an integral part of India by virtue of its fully legal and irrevocable accession. Where is Gilgit-Baltistan located? Located in the northern Pakistan, it borders China in the north, Afghanistan in the west, Tajikistan in northwest, and Kashmir in southeast. It shares a geographical boundary with Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and India considers it as part of undivided Jammu and Kashmir, while Pakistan sees it as a separate from POK. It has a regional assembly and an elected chief minister. China-Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC) also passes through this region. Gilgit-Baltistan is home to of the 8,000ers and to more than 50 peaks above 77,000 meters. Three of the world's longest glaciers outside the polar regions are found in Gilgit-Baltistan. How Pakistan took over it. The British sold it, along with the rest of Jammu and Kashmir, to the Dogra ruler of Jammu, Gulab Singh, after defeating the Sikh army in 1846, but retained control over the area through a lease extracted from the Maharaj. This lease was last renewed in 1935. In 1947, a British Army officer of the rank the Colonel imprisoned Maharaj Hari Singh's governor in the region and handed over the area for accession to Pakistan. Recent developments. Pakistan in 2017 proposed to declare the strategic Gilgit-Baltistan region as its fifth province. Impediments ahead. Gilgit-Baltistan is part of Jammu and Kashmir, and any such move would seriously damage Pakistan-Kashmir case. Two UN resolutions of August 13, 1948 and January 5, 1949 clearly established a link between GB and the Kashmir issue, making the region its fifth province would thus violate the Karachi Agreement, perhaps the only instrument that provides doubtful legal authority to Pakistan's administration of GB, as well as the UN resolutions that would damage its position on the Kashmir issue. Any such move would be violative of the 1963 Pak-China boundary agreement that calls for the sovereign authority to reopen negotiations with China after the settlement of the Kashmir dispute between Pakistan and India, and of the 1972 Shimla Agreement that mentions that neither side shall unilaterally alter the situation. GS Paper 3. Topics covered: inclusive growth and issues arising from it. Voluntary retention route for foreign portfolio investors. Context: in a big relief to the capital markets, even as the coronavirus pandemic continues to hit economics and markets worldwide. Foreign portfolio investors FPIs significantly reduced the pace of outflows in April after a record net outflow of rupees 1 crore 18 lakh 203 crore in March 2020. In April, FPIs pull out a net of rupees 14,858 crore from equity and debt markets. There were, however, net positive investors in debt voluntary retention route VRR scheme. They invested a net of rupees 4,032 crore in debt VRR schemes in April. What is VRR? It is a new channel of investment available to FPIs to encourage them to invest in debt markets in India over and above their investments through the regular route. The objective is to attract long-term and stable FPI investments into debt markets while providing FPIs with operational flexibility to manage their investments. VRR scheme allows FPIs to participate in repo transactions and also invest in exchange-traded funds that invest in debt instruments. When was this route proposed? This new investment route was proposed by the central bank in October 2018 at a time that rupee was weakening against the dollar very sharply. There were also talks of a special NRI bond scheme to attract more dollar funds into economy and stabilize the rupee. How are they different from regular FPI investments? Guidelines say that investment through VRR will be free of the macro-prudential and other regulatory prescriptions applicable to FPI investments in debt markets, provided FPIs voluntarily commit to retain a required minimum percentage of their investment in India for a period of their choice. But the minimum retention period shall be 3 years or as decided by RBI. How much money can an FPI invest through this route? Investment under this route as of now shall be capped at rupees 40,000 crore for VRR government and 35,000 crore per annum for VRR corporate. But the limit would be changed from time to time based on macroprudential consideration and assessment of investment demand. There will be separate limits for investment in government securities and investment in corporate debt. Topics covered: Role of external state and non-state actors in creating challenges to internal security. Bru Reang refugee crisis. Context: a joint team of Nagrik Suraksha Manch, mostly representing Bengali people displaced from Eastwhile East Pakistan post partition in 1947, and Mizo Convention have submitted a memorandum to Tripura Chief Minister protesting the proposed settlement of displaced Brus in Kanchanpur subdivision of North Tripura district. What's the issue? The centre, in January 2020, signed a historic part of permanent solution of Bru refugees issues. The agreement was between Union government, governments of Tripura and Mizoram, and Bru Reang representatives to end the 23-year-old Bru Reang refugee crisis. Opponents now do not want the Brus to settle in Kanchanpur subdivision of North Tripura district. The two organizations, however, clarified that they have no objection to the settlement of Brus in 22 other subdivisions of Tripura. Highlights of the agreement. Under the agreement, the centre has announced a package of rupees 600 crore under this agreement. As per the agreement, the Bru tribes would be given land to reside in Tripura. A fixed deposit of rupees 4 lakh will be given to each family as an amount of government aid. They will be able to withdraw this amount after 2 years. Each of the displaced family will be given 40 to 30 square feet residential plots. Apart from them, each family will be given rupees 5,000 cash per month for 2 years. The agreement highlights that each displaced family will also be given free ration for 2 years and aid of rupees 1.5 lakh to build their houses. Background: more than 30,000 Bru tribes who fled Mizoram are residing in Tripura's refugee camps. Who are Brus? The Brus, also referred to as the Reans, are spread across the northeastern state of Tripura, Assam, Manipur, and Mizoram. In Tripura, they are recognized as particularly vulnerable tribal groups. In Mizoram, they have been targeted by groups that do not consider them indigenous to the state. What's the issue? A bout of ethnic violence forced thousands of people from Bru tribe to leave their homes in Mizoram. The displaced Bru people from Mizoram have been living in various camps in Tripura since 1997. In 1997, the murder of Mizo forest guard at Dampa Tiger Reserve in Mizoram's Mamit district, allegedly by Bru militants, led to a violent backlash against the community, forcing several thousand people to flee to neighboring Tripura. The Bru militancy was a reactionary movement against Mizo nationalist groups who had demanded in the mid 1990s that the Bru will be left out of the state's electoral rolls, contending that the tribe was not indigenous to Mizoram.